I talk about the economy, sir, here at home, and I wonder what grade you would give
A+.
A+.
Yeah, A++++++.
Well,
sat down with the Politico reporter and she said, "Can you give yourself a grade on the economy?" And he said, "It's an A+++++++. It was 5 pluses. I had to count.
I never gave a grade that high when I was teaching.
Well, I mean, I don't know what a grade that high existed.
But the argument that the guy who's been out for a year, that it's all his fault when you've implemented a totally new economic agenda and that it's a failure in basically every corner of it is not really resonating with people.
Doesn't sound like they're laughing with him, does it? I'm sure his close confidants are telling him that they weren't booing you, sir. They were saying boo earns.
Smithies, are they booing me?
No, they're saying boo earns. Boo earns.
Are you saying boo or boo earns? I was saying boo earns.
The president sat down for an interview with Politico in which he told the reporter, "Don't be dramatic," when she alluded to the American people struggling to make ends meet.
People, not to the insurance
so right
companies.
now people are buying their holiday presents. They're planning.
Look, don't be dramatic.
No.
Don't be dramatic.
They're planning
Here's
their
what I
budgets
want
for
to do.
next year,
Here's what I
Mr.
want.
President.
I know, and what I want to do.
Stop with the drama. What are you talking about? People are suffering right now. I know that you're building golden ballrooms for yourself and golden arches, and you're doing great Gatsby parties at Mar-a-Lago. But you know what? People are suffering right now. So how dare you?
I mean, at this point, he's just writing the ads for Democrats, isn't he? But when he was asked how he would grade the economy, he gave an answer that not only had Bernie Sanders give out a wee chuckle, but even those at Trump Media HQ couldn't hold in their laughter.
Good.
But I do want to talk about the economy, sir, here at home, and I wonder what grade you would give
A+.
your economy. A+.
Yeah, A++++++.
Well,
He's out at the right time, Brian, as we talked about yesterday, timing-wise.
Yeah.
I loved the clip when he sat down with the Politico reporter and she said, "Can you give yourself a grade on the economy?" And he said, "It's an A++++++. It was 5 pluses. I had to count.
I never gave a grade that high when I was teaching.
Well, I mean, I don't know what a grade that high existed.
Jackie, Elon Musk said a little bit successful with Doge, but he wouldn't do it again. Is that, is Doge just dead? Can Joni Ernst bring this back even a little bit here?
I think that he was disappointed because it didn't have as much success as he was hoping that it would have.
And the president continues to lie about the state of the economy, which, as I've said many a times, let him do it. He can't fake news his way out of people's wallets getting light. Even Fox News polls are noting a seismic shift away from the president, especially regarding his handling of the economy.
But a Fox poll taken in November shows a vast majority of Americans believe the economy is not in great shape, and a majority also blame President Trump.
And sure, say polls aren't your thing. You don't gauge how the country is feeling. Well, what about elections? How about the two this week in which both in Miami, a Democratic candidate won the mayor race for the first time in 30 years. And in a deep red corner of Georgia that favored Trump by more than 12 points, flipped blue.
Just in tonight, Democrats have flipped a state house seat that covers parts of Clark and Oconee counties. The vote to fill a vacancy after State Representative Marcus Wiedauer resigned to focus more on his business. Well, according to the Secretary of State's office, Democrat Eric Gisler is the apparent winner tonight over Republican Mac Dutch Guest. The gap, just 197 votes. Now, in last year's election, Wiedauer, the Republican, won with about 61% of the vote.
Now, countless analysts noted that back in October during the election, then it was an indictment of the president's policies. People literally said that's why they were turning out.
So I've had just as many voters, Anna, say to me that they feel that this is a moment where they can register concern and frustration with the Trump administration. I will tell you also, as we've been out here all day, you've of course got Democratic canvassers, got Republican canvassers across from them. A lot of foot traffic here. I actually just got an update from one of the election officials inside who say that at around this time, just a year ago, so in a presidential general election year, they saw slightly slightly less traffic than they're seeing today. This traffic greater than what it was in a presidential year, sort of speaking to potentially some of the excitement that you're seeing in an area that is a Democratic stronghold. Larry knows this so well, and the kind of place that Spanberger and the rest of the Democratic ticket are going to have to drive up their turnout, drive up their vote if they want to continue to bear out what the polls have shown, which is that this really is maybe Spanberger's race to lose.
And so too, it seems, is this. Trump continues to underperform. I mean, he put his name on the Miami mayoral race. He endorsed the candidate Gonzalez in a majority Hispanic city, and still the city swung 20 points in the favor of a Democrat.
It's surprising because the last time a Democrat held the office of mayor of Miami was back during the era of The Birdcage, which was a great film in the late 1990s, one of my favorites. Kamala Harris won Miami, but just by a point. There was a huge shift towards Donald Trump. This was in Miami, Joe Biden had carried Miami by nearly 20 points and Harris only won it by 1. And all of a sudden, look at this. It's a 19-point win for Higgins. That is an 18-point shift in just a year's time. Yeah. And of course, it is just the latest shift that we're seeing. That is what I think is so important going on here. We've seen it in special elections. We saw it in Virginia Gov. We saw it in New Jersey Gov. We have seen it across the political map, whereby over and over and over again, the baseline from 2024, Democrats are consistently outperforming it 10, 15, nearly 20 points in this case.
Is he that delusional that he thinks Republicans don't have a problem? I mean, even Laura Ingraham warned that the midterms will be ugly at this rate for Republicans.
Okay, Katie, one thing that we should also see, Mark is right, the midterms right now look ugly. Unless the Republicans really get serious.
It used to be able, like, Laura Ingraham last night.
I literally, the midterms look ugly right now unless Republicans really get serious, from Laura Ingraham. And it's a waste of Republicans' time to worry about us. I see all these stories like Dems in disarray. 68% of Americans say their financial situation's getting worse. 65% say that Donald Trump isn't lowering their cost of living, focused elsewhere. And the Democratic lead on the generic ballot is getting into blue wave, possibly tsunami territory, because there's no plan. ACA subsidies extension, 70% approval rating. Donald Trump tries to do it. And the caucus says, actually, no, we don't want to do that. We'll just have no healthcare plan for the rest of time.
Trump's brand is bleeding support. And if you look in Miami, it's bleeding support from Hispanic voters and suburban conservatives that he made inroads with. And as a result, Republicans are losing winnable races that really they shouldn't be losing. Meanwhile, as an NBC analyst summed up, he said, the more Donald Trump and his party pretend they don't have an electoral problem, the more Republicans will lose winnable elections.
It was overtime. My kids' daycare went up. Can't afford the cost of food. Using credit cards for everyday expenses. No money left after their bills are paid. Pretty much just a whole bunch of financial mess.
We changed presidents at the beginning of the year.
We did.
And the guy who moved into the White House said that he was going to fix it. Several times he said it would be easy.
Absolutely.
Has he fixed it?
Absolutely not. I'm definitely waiting for him to fix it.
Jones is a 3-time Trump voter, but she says he has simply failed to keep his promise to lower the cost of living.
I'm very let down by that. Very, very let down because I feel like it's only gotten worse.
Which leads me to believe that they're not laughing with you, Donald. They are laughing to save face, knowing full well that the party they align with are in deep trouble.
And historically speaking, the midterms are going to go against the president. The question is, how big is that margin going to be? But Dana said, rightly so, that was what my nodding was, that Donald Trump, if he says, I got you, I'm working on it, that people can hear that and that can resonate. But the problem is that it's not one night, it's not 2 nights, it's like 320 nights that he's had to work on it. And he's put into place policies that are making it worse. And last night's rally, I understand it's all going to be chopped up and that's how people are going to consume it. But it is basically an in-kind contribution to the Democrats. The midterm ads will be full of Donald Trump from last night saying, you can give up pencils. You don't need that many. You don't need $37 for your daughter. 2 or 3 is nice. So we're doing things right. Prices are going down. My favorite word is tariff. I just helped our farmers out because they're starting to do really well. The tariffs are making them rich. There is not a farmer that you could find to do an interview that is saying, I have been made rich because of Donald Trump's tariff policy.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.